Hey everybody, welcome back to Snackcast.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Scott.
Kevin.
And so today we're going to it's going to be rapid fire, right?
Yep.
So a couple days ago we talked about why the scale doesn't matter. Well, what if you're trying to lose some weight?
Right.
And you're kind of hitting a roadblock. Well, What do we watch for?
Right. There's just a lot of reasons why the weight might not be coming off, and it's frustrating, right? Like we said, we talked about the fact that people shouldn't be watching that as their primary source. But if you're like, man, I'm doing everything I should be doing, and this is so frustrating. So we're gonna, like Scott said, we're gonna give you some quick hits.
Quick hits. All right. So, what do you think is probably the number one mistake people make?
I didn't really have these in order, so you're gonna put me on the spot here. I would tell you that you're adding muscle. Right, you're adding muscle. It's not really a mistake. It's an observation. You're adding muscle when you're losing fat. And muscle, we all know, is more dense, heavier than fat. And so when you look at the scale, you go, it's not really moving in the right direction when in fact it actually is.
Back to what we said the other day, that maybe a better marker is how your clothes fit.
Right.
Right.
The next thing I would tell you is time. Right. You haven't given it enough time. Many people didn't gain, the 29, 30 pounds over a month. And then they expect, that occurred over,
years,
15,
decades.
16, yeah. And then they expect it to come off. I'm not seeing, a pound come off, every 2 weeks. Well, it just doesn't operate.
And that can actually go both ways. You can kind of see rapid change at first, and then you'll plateau. So you just, again, it's about the journey and changing the behavior, and not what's happening right in that moment.
Right. Too many carbs, too many sugars. See this quite a bit of time is you're not watching specifically what you eat, and we can do a whole cast on that.
The stuff that's labeled as healthy and it's garbage.
Yeah, I make fun of the Welch's fruit snacks that my kid eats, and vitamin C pasted all over this thing, and it looks like it's good for you, and it's actually a gummy bear.
Diabetes bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually give it. My oldest kid is diabetic, and that is one of his emergency reserves.
Yep. And it can come in many forms. We can do a whole snack cast on that one. Gluten intolerance is an interesting one. You can be gluten intolerant, and and that comes up on you after decades of eating gluten.
Dude, yeah, and so gluten intolerance is one thing. The advanced case of gluten intolerance is, of course, celiac disease.
That's correct.
But if you've never gone to YouTube and looked up a video about what is gluten, it is fascinating.
Yeah, another snack cast all on that topic, right? Yeah. But gluten can cause swelling. It can cause poor digestion. It can just add to your weight gain as well. Working out but eating more, right? The old I did this so I earned an ice cream, right? And that happens way too often.
Yeah.
So. And then following that up is binge eating, right? You did what you were supposed to do for 13 straight days, and on the 14th day, you're going to go eat a large pepperoni
binge
pie.
Eating. How does stress play?
Stress is a big one as well. Too much.
You can
stress,
be doing everything right, and
right.
if your stress is out of balance,
right.
it can.
And you talked about stress plus hormones, and that could be bad.
And what's
well.
one of the best things to deal with stress? Sleep.
Yes.
Make sure you get enough sleep.
Yeah, that one we can point out, and again, throwing my wife under the bus, pediatric ER nurse.
Sorry, Tiff.
And she works all kinds of weird hours, and some days, some weeks she can work that really deep night shift, and she starts to see her weight fluctuate, and she is doing everything right. So poor sleep habits, stress can absolutely play a role. So don't go changing, this is not working, over a very short period of time. It's important to look at the long game, make mild tweaks, right? When you make major, we notice that in business, right? When you make a lot of tweaks at one time, that effectively is a major tweak.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
It's the old flywheel analogy.
Yep.
So probably last is really, say you're doing a little binge eating, you're doing a little celebratory eating after the workout. Maybe you're not watching calorie deficit food diary. It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. And many people, MyFitnessPal, there's a few digital ones that you can look at. But, good old fashioned, pad and paper. We're sitting with our electronic pads.
It's actually like a consequence, right? If I write it down, then I really ate it.
Oh, and then there's the guilt from, I binge eat and I didn't want to write that down, right? So you don't want to write down that one. You want to write down the 7 days or 6 days of good.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I think we're out of time.
That's it today. We are out of time. Again, trying to keep it to 5 minutes. Snackcast at Yes.Fit with any of your ideas.
Keep moving.
See ya.